last couple of days, or 2 days. And I love you.
You guys, it's such a, well, first of all, Sebastian, thank you for coming to Houston. You're amazing. And I think everybody, I speak for everyone, we've just all had the best experience with you at this convention. You're just so giving to your fans, you're so generous, and everybody really appreciates it, right guys? The thing that I would boldly suggest to you guys is to enjoy the moment, be in the moment, and let your phones and your cameras and the videos go for the next 40 minutes, and just really, this moment is for you guys. So
we have 40 minutes here?
We got 40 minutes!
Oh man.
And we got a lot of people who want to talk to you, so we'll start over here at the mic. If you want to stand on up. Hi, how are ya?
Hi, yes, thank you so much for being here. I know that we all really appreciate it. I'm going to start off right off the bat with a, I guess, serious question.
I haven't had any of those today.
If you've been asked before, I'm really sorry, but you play obviously a lot of really intense emotional roles, so my question for you is how do you prepare yourself to get into those scenes that you do?
Well, I don't know.
What's your process as an actor? Do you know, I guess when you first approach a role, do you find what's in you that's the same as the character, or do you try to find a physical trait?
No, I mean, it just differs every time, you know? You never know what you need for something. And every time something that worked previously may not work again, on the next thing. But it always starts with the script and sort of everything that's written in there, and I kind of read the script over and over if I have a script. Sometimes I don't. But I read the thing over and over again and just kind of get it in my memory, and then just see sort of kind of what happens and what you get inspired by, and that could be music, that could be other movies, that could be people I know, situations that have happened, or things I've heard about. You just kind of end up going down a rabbit hole a little bit. It's like being a detective.
Mm-hmm.
You just start kind of. Curiosity is the most, I think, we have to protect curiosity, and you just have to be curious about things and want to learn stuff, and then that's kind of how I try and go.
Thank you so much. Thanks for kicking us off. Hi.
Hi. My question is, what is one piece of advice that someone has given you on or off set that you keep close to your heart?
Oh, a piece of advice from a mentor. Or...
Don't care about what other people say about you. Just really don't give a damn.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard, we're in this business. I mean, well, I'm in this business where it's like.
They're all in it with you right now.
It's like anything creative, anything, whatever, painting, I mean, anything that's creative, stitching, whatever, is personal. It is, and you need to have a personal thing to it. So, you're going to be sensitive, but you have to ultimately just go, I'm doing this, and then people are not going to like that. And not everybody's going to like what I do, clearly, or in my personal life, apparently. So, who gives a fuck? If it feels good to you, and you're helping somebody, or you're not harming anybody, you're being kind, you're being considerate, then that's it. That's all you need.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Hi.
My question's not serious at all, but when you were preparing to play Jeff and you were doing the accent, did you ever slip into it or do any of your other character lines in that accent?
Oh, I mean, I spoke like that the whole time. Paul Walter Hauser and I would go to these restaurants, and I would try to do the accent and see if he could tell that I was talking like that. But I actually was I was doing the accent even before I'd met him. So I was kind of just thinking that maybe he would notice the difference, and he didn't. But yeah, it was, the accent's a really hard thing, because it's you just have to keep going with it. And the voice too, it was a big voice thing with him too, because
That's great.
Do you find that, you mentioned like the voice, the accent, if the more layers that are different than you, that you put on with the character, the more free you are as an artist?
Say that again. The more layers you put on
The more you differentiate Sebastian from the character.
like the more free you are as an artist. I mean, I guess maybe yes and no. I think sometimes it's easier, believe it or not, when you have real people that you have to, because then you have a goal, like you know where you're going. You're like, I have to get there. So, and whereas when you're trying to create a character from, I mean, even a comic book character, right? I mean, the thing was written, it was there. Like, so I had a source to go to. But if you don't have that, then sometimes you have all this creative freedom where it's good, but it can also kind of throw you off. But I think either way, it can be freeing in a way, in a weird way.
Thank you so much. Well, let's talk about Bucky Barnes and Winter Soldier. You talk about the origin story of the character. How familiar, before you were brought into the MCU, how familiar were you with the story?
I wasn't very familiar because I didn't grow up in comic books, so I had no idea. I think I think the first comic book movie I ever saw was Batman Returns. Batman and the Batman Returns. I used to love those movies when I was growing up. And then I'd heard of Captain America, but I didn't really know, comic books.
So how did the whole process of getting into Bucky evolve? Like, take us through the process before you took on the role, and then your initial sort of research.
Well, it's funny, we were at the autograph table like about an hour ago, and somebody turned to me at one point and said, did you ever think this was gonna happen? And I was like, no. I actually played this character for at least 2-3 years before I felt like people noticed. I mean, the first Avengers, I mean, maybe you guys have. But I wasn't like, I didn't, nobody was stopping me on the street going, so it was, I never, I treated it like any other character. I just wanted to honor the source material and what Stan Lee had envisioned, and I was really lucky to have met him, and for him to kind of even like remind me, just being like, whatever you're doing, just remember he's a good guy. And I was like, okay, because the winter thing is kind of fun, but the guy is a good guy, and so it just studying the comic books and seeing, but the MCU differs a little bit here and there, so we had to kind of adjust to that, and then in the movie, Bucky Barnes actually was sort of a cooler guy or whatever, and so that's where we ended up today.
Well, I think we're all so glad that it ended up being you to portray him, right, guys?
Hi there. I had to write this down. So lately I've gotten a chance to see more of your work in some of the independent films you've done, and maturity that comes through in each of the roles you've played has been remarkable to see. I don't get a lot of chances to watch your interviews, so I'm curious, is there certain criteria you look for when choosing a role for an independent film versus something more mainstream Hollywood?
Well, thank you for saying that. No, I'm just trying to do, different things. Like I'm really, I feel like I feel like I'm worried about getting too comfortable, to be honest, and in life too, and that's not always a good thing, by the way. But I think when you're working on something, I fear getting too comfortable. So I try to look for things that kind of challenge me a little bit and push me, make and are scary, tell me to step up. And usually what helps me is finding other actors and people that are better than me, in projects, and then wanting to work with them, because then I stand to learn from someone, in a certain way, and I'm scared, and I'm backed up against the wall, so I'd rather be there, and I go from there.
Thank you. one of my favorite movies that well, I'm a huge Andy Weir fan, so I love The Martian, and obviously, he's working on another book. I just talked to him a couple weeks ago. But when you first read that, I mean, what an amazing movie and concept and everything. What were your initial thoughts when you read the script?
Well, I loved it. I mean, Ridley Scott. I mean, and also space, and like there was so many aspects about that whole experience. But then I read the book, and the book was really great.
So good.
Yeah, it was really, really great. It's so informative about my character, and you know, so it provided a good backstory. But it was, you know, there's many things that have happened from that movie. You know, friendships I've developed, other work that's come to me because of that movie. You know, so it's sort of it holds a special place in my heart, you know, in a way. Like,
Well, it was awesome, and I loved you in it.
Thank you.
Hi, I know you have a question right here. Yes?
Yes, I do. I just started college, and I'm majoring in education, so I was wondering what kind of majors might some of your characters pursue if they were going to college today?
What kind of she said, what kind of majors would some of my characters pursue if they were going to college?
Just an easy little question. Just gonna throw that out there.
Let's just remember the characters that I've played. Whether college really would be the thing they'd be worried about first. Oh. You think that guy went to college? You know, I could see him like at a prep school or something, and then like somehow, you know, his father was paying for it or whatever. You know, he'd be in the college admission scale. Oh dear God. We need to stop reality from looking like a movie. Okay. Independence Day is about to happen. Well, look. So yeah, not him. But
What's your major?
yeah, what do you, education. Right? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm looking into doing high school sign language.
Wow, that's cool. High school sign language. Well, I think it's very noble and heroic that you're going to college, okay, and that you're pursuing something that's going to help other people. So, congratulations to you.
Yes, congratulations and good luck with your career, your college career and onwards. Hi.
Hi, so I'm a senior in college and I've fallen in love with different aspects of my major. So I was wondering if you were in college, if acting was all you wanted to do, and if... And then if that's not all that you fell in love with, how did you decide on acting?
Well, I did. So I went to Rutgers, and then Rutgers. Yeah, I love that experience. I went to Mason Gross, which is an acting program at Rutgers, and then so I did know about acting there. But I'll say this: like looking back now, you know, I had all these other great classes and sort of like English and psychology and all these other things that were prerequisite that I had to take. And you know, I mean, when you're 20, 21, like at least like when I was 20, 21, I didn't care about any of that. All I cared about was just the acting or whatever. And now, if I got a chance to go back to college now, I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I get to read all these things. I get to learn about all this stuff. Like, and I feel like you only realize that later on in life, you know. So while you're still there, like, you know, take advantage of that is what I would say.
So soak in the moment.
Yeah, it's gone like that.
Yeah, it's such a short period of time. Good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Sorry, I can't feel my legs. Okay, hi. I think this has probably been addressed in bits and pieces before, but I just had to ask. The ending of Endgame was extremely devastating for me emotionally, and I was wondering how you thought Bucky felt during those last few moments of Endgame.
I mean, let's just talk about that scene for starters. What an iconic
I thought you were
scene.
talking about Robert Downey Jr. Dot.
They made a
Can't say that.
They made a real push not to.
Iron Man is finished. Why are we celebrating? Did you guys think I went back like in a Civil War mode? Like I was like, yes. don't know what's gonna happen. I still don't know. Is he done?
Well, they opened up the new timeline.
Ever since that doctor came along, the whole thing beyond, okay?
Yeah, but what was it like filming that final scene where, you know, literally the funeral scene where there's every member, it seemed like, of the MCU just standing there?
It was very emotional. What did you say?
So that's not the scene she's talking about.
No, I know. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what you said. But it was very emotional because it was one of those things where, you know, and that's why I think the movie's emotional, because you do feel like you've been a part of this now for 10 years, you know, one way, shape, or form. You were someplace in your life when you saw that movie, you know, like now we're getting older, like these characters are getting older with you, you know, and so like there's all of this stuff that kind of comes to that scene, so it's no longer just the scene, it has all these other things in it, so I think that comes from years and years of it, and it was the same for that scene. Again, like you never really know if goodbye in the MCU is goodbye. Never really feels like it, you know. It takes like time to kind of, but it's strange. I mean, we'll see. It will never be. Captain America will never be the same without Chris Evans. You know, it just won't. I mean, that's just the truth, right? It doesn't mean that Captain America is over. It just means that that particular situation, you know, will never be the same. So now we're in this thing now where literally, I suppose, Anthony and myself and Sam and Bucky are going to have to figure out how to incorporate life without that big guy, right? So, you know, we're gonna do our best. I mean, we'll see.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Sebastian. First of all, can you say that you are the fucking god of gymnastics for me?
I am the fucking god of gymnastics. It's another line to be proud of.
Are you happy now?
I am very happy. So now that the whole 10 years of the MCU are over, what's one thing that you learned about yourself, and then one piece of advice you can give to the new actors?
The new actors coming into the MCU,
Yeah.
or okay, yeah. What have I learned about myself? I mean, I would say, looking back, you know, I would have probably told myself to just kind of not worry so much, because there was a plan and there was a bigger, and then that's the same thing for the other actors. Like it's like, you know, we're very, very lucky to be doing these movies, and you know, you can do your job as best as you can. That's all you're responsible for. You know, that's all I can do. It's just honor this character, honor what's on the paper. You know, it's work that precedes me in a way. So come in there, do the best you can, and then just trust the process, and everybody else around you is working just as hard or even harder to try and make these movies as best as they can be. You know, and I'm going to say something right now, because you know what, I was, sorry, but you know, I was thinking about it. You know, apparently Francis Ford Coppola, who's, okay, like, one of the greatest filmmakers of our time, okay, will forever, apparently just went on and said something about these movies. Have you looked at your phones? You have them in your hands? And he said something like, you know, these movies don't add anything, or, you know, I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me, but anyways, something along the lines of like, cinema always has to inspire, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, you know, he's one of my heroes, and I was listening to him, and I was like, you know, and meanwhile, I've just spent the day with all of you, just people coming up to me going like, thank you so much for this character. Thank you so much. This movie helped me out so much. This movie inspired me. Now I feel better. Now I feel less alone. Now I feel like, so how can you say these movies are not helping people? You know what I mean? It's sort of suddenly becomes intimate to me because I had a first account of it all day long. So anyway, they're just people on our work to try to always make that happen, you know, for you. So that's what
Thank you. I mean, the great thing about the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is the suspension of disbelief. You can go in and you can lose yourself in the story, and the characters, because they're told on this, you know, supernatural backdrop, you can relate almost more to them than a Coppola movie.
Well, look, hold on.
I mean,
I still think I'm in The Godfather, okay?
but if you think about it, this is more relatable than The Godfather to many people.
Well, look, it's different. The point is, all movies are contributing to something, you know, and I think it's more about that awareness. I mean, again, in my humble point of view, but what do I know, you know? But anyway, so whatever helps somebody, I'm for it. I don't care if it's on a small screen, on an iPhone. I don't care if a genius is behind it, or a company, or whatever. Whatever helps somebody, I'm for it.
Absolutely.
So, that's what I'm obviously never working with Francis Ford.
So my question is, you have participated in many movies recently, like in its beginning, 355, and the movie Glee. You went to so many places and different countries, so did you find anything new while shooting a film, and which kind of movie or TV series would you like to join next, except for Marvel series?
Wait, which film? The recent one? Are you talking about?
No, I think when you joined so many movies.
You know, all my films that I got to travel.
Yeah.
And what that experience was like?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, what place did I love? Oh God, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I felt, you know, Paris is pretty great. It's an interesting one. I mean, London's a great city. I don't know. I mean, you know, Beijing was great. I want to go to Japan badly. I have Brazil. I mean, I wasn't shooting there, but I got to go there. That was an unbelievable city. So it's kind of a, you know, Montreal. I'll always love Montreal. big soft spot. My first movie ever was there. It's a classic.
And then the second part of your question is, if you could just pick a type of project you'd like to be involved with next, what would that look like?
You know, I'd love to try my hand at, which is kind of what I've been kind of getting involved with a little bit more. We'll see, you know, knock on wood, hopefully in a year or something I'll be up here being able to talk about it, but is, you know, getting behind developing certain stories and projects, you know, from the start, not just coming in as an actor, but also like, you know, I think at this point, using anybody, I know writers or directors or producers to try to develop things and make them, you know, come to life. And that process, I feel like, is very interesting to me because then you have more responsibility in telling that story. And so I'm trying to go that route.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi.
So I know the past couple months ago you came to Alabama to film that Devil of All Time. And I was wondering if you could give us any details on that, or just what the filming was like for that.
Antonio Campos is the director of that movie, and he was one of my favorite people to work with, and he's supremely talented. I mean, like, have you guys seen that pilot for The Sinner? Yeah, I didn't really sleep for like a week after that. But anyway, he's got some other interesting, amazing movies. You guys should definitely look him up. But I loved working with him, and we got to shoot it on film, which was really interesting and it looks incredible, and from what I've seen, and then yeah, it's just one of those movies that really has really crazy characters, and everybody got to go to another place, and as did I, and I was really lucky to be part of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I just want to say thank you for me and many of these people here. Like, all my life I've been told that I need to change who I am, but you helped me realize that I don't have to change who I am to love who I am. And I just thank you. And I just want to know how it feels to know that you had that kind of impact on so many people's lives. Just in the quickest way possible.
We gotta get through this. Look, I'm extremely grateful, and thank you for saying that. I mean, I'm just another dude, trying to do the best I can. It's it. I don't. That's all you can hope for. So if at all you feel that way, I'm really grateful, and I just hope I can continue to do that, as best as I can. But I'm a human being too, so I'll have my moments as well, just remember that. And I probably share a lot of similarity, things that you go through, maybe sometimes. I mean, we're in different circumstances, but we all kind of have our humans, so I get it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing that. Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
Don't be nervous.
This is the first time I've really felt comfortable enough to do something like this.
That's good.
So thank you for that. And this is a early birthday present for my 16th. And
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So I have a quick thing. So I was wondering, I was contacted by someone who was asking if you could, I guess their friend was going through a difficult time, and they wondering if you could say something nice for them. The friend's name is RC. And also, my question is, what's your favorite dessert? Because I figured a lot of things are really serious, so why not lighten it up a bit?
Well, what's his favorite dessert? Let's start there.
I just like everything chocolate. Chocolate and everything peanut butter. Sometimes I take chocolate bars and I'll break them into pieces and just dump them in a peanut butter jar. And I'll sit in front of my television and I'll just eat it. And sometimes I've eaten whole jars.
Better try that.
Were you a fan of the chocolate fountains when those were popular? Remember those?
They're fantastic.
Yeah. I think we should bring those back. And
sure.
Yeah, as far as your friend, you can see him downstairs and talk to him there about that. Thank you.
Well, whatever it is, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope they're okay.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you, Sebastian. Last year, I struggled with depression a lot and anxiety, and last year was a really, really rough time for me, and I really didn't think I was going to make it through it, but thanks to you and your supportiveness, I was able to overcome it, and I'm okay now. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Hi.
Hi. You had mentioned that you had really enjoyed working with Kara Kusama on Destroyer, and my question was, especially for We've Always Lived in the Castle with another female director, is there any differences between working with a female director versus a male director, or any notable differences?
Things get done. There's no ego. Yeah, no, both. I mean, it just, I don't know. The communication there was really great, for me, and I lucked out in both situations. It was, it was surprising, I don't know, because we just sort of had met we didn't really know each other beforehand. We didn't have any rehearsals. We didn't have any of that. But like right away, it just immediately like clicked. So, but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, sometimes like guys are stupid. They get into their own way, you know, and it's like, it's silly. So sometimes I think like in those circumstances, you just cut to the chase. You get to to the bottom of it.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you so much. Hi.
Hey Claire, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi Sam.
Hi.
So last year, when you did the unofficial subcon, we thanked you for coming and I made you that card. This year I got with Sarah and John and we got you another one.
Aww.
So this is gonna be for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for everybody that came out. I think that was like a 3-week notice or something.
Yeah, it was. This is awesome. Fandemic Tour 2019. Welcome back, Sebcon. Very exciting. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, over here. How are you?
Drop my almonds.
Just.
Yeah,
we can get you some more almonds.
That's what I'm gonna be when I'm gonna be an old person. Just gonna like leave a trail of
We can always find you. Hi.
Hello.
Which arm do you like more? Do you like the silver one or the one from Wakanda?
It's a really good question.
Well, the one from Wakanda has a couple more features that we haven't explored yet. I think I like that one. But I'm very, you know, I miss the old star. Yeah, I do. There was something about that. Maybe I'll have to get it back.
Thank you so much. Are you having a good time this weekend? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hi.
Hi. I'm getting a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater, and one of my top colleges is Rutgers because of the year abroad in London and the fact that they teach mainly the Meisner method. And I was wondering what your experience was like.
Saw that Meisner acting book you read.
Oh yeah, I was doing my homework.
So you're considering Rutgers, or okay, and Meisner, and you want to know how it was, or
yeah, just what your experience was. Like, was it a good fit? Like, what?
He wanted to call out his college.
No, I loved Rutgers. I loved Mason Gross. It was incredible, and one of the reasons why it was so important was that year abroad, because, you know, I think when I came in, I was very young, and I wanted to get everything right, you know, and that's my only advice with any acting technique or any book you read. You know, it's like, yes, you read it, you sort of study it like it's like a textbook or whatever, but just remember it has like another way of seeping into you. You know, you can't just like learn it and try it and fix, like it takes time, and but so it was very difficult for me those first 2 years actually over there, but then when I got my junior year, I sort of, I don't know, something happened. Like everything I had done sort of clicked in, and I walked away with some of the closest friends in my life, and I did some of my work there that to this day I'll say like was better than anything I've done so far, like in terms of the plays I was doing and stuff. So it's a great school. I will always say that. I wouldn't be here without it.
Thank you, and good luck to you. And we have time for just a couple more questions, and right before we get over here to Spider-Man, I loved you on Once Upon a Time, and you only had 6 episodes, but you were so amazing. So tell me a little bit about how you created that character.
That was, well, it was like the first episode itself was incredible because he was the whole episode. I mean, he had a backstory, you learned everything about him, so it was like a full movie. It felt like I could, you know, I could jump in.
The full arc, yeah.
Yeah, it had a full arc and it was great. And then we went back a little bit to sort of explore him like slightly, and it was interesting because there were times where it felt like potentially you could keep going further with that character, but there was, you know, he also had like kind of like a finality to him in a weird way, you know. But I enjoyed it. I loved it.
And you were so good. So I just wanted to say that before we finished. Hi.
Hi. So earlier in your career, you played two like super iconic gay roles, TJ Aaron and Jack Benjamin. And I'm just wondering what your favorite parts of playing those characters were, and which one you like better.
Oh.
Nobody ever asks about Jack.
But it's good that you did.
Well, you know,
he deserves some back too.
I mean, look, they're both very different, and you know, to me they were different. You know, in the sense that I think they wanted different things, you know, in life for themselves. I mean, they were both gay, but like in terms of, you know, one was wanting power, you know, he was driven by different things, and then I think TJ just wanted love, you know, and just wanted to be loved, and we all want to be loved. I mean, you know, and so I don't know. I liked different things about them. I liked that there was a sensitivity to the TJ character that I loved, sort of in a way, you know, and I felt for him, you know, I sort of connected that way with him because I feel like I'm very sensitive, and sometimes like, you know, it's good. I would rather be sensitive than not, you know. You want to feel rather than not feel, you know. Don't get numb. Don't numb yourself. I mean, like, go through the feelings, you know. But like, he was trying to figure out a way. He didn't have a support system, so he didn't have anybody to hear him out. So he was. But I think both of those characters, had we had another season, you would have seen, you know, that they were on their way towards something, you know, and more of an ownership of who they were, you know, and that I wanted to see, which unfortunately we didn't get to see, you know.
We all know TJ is married now, and you know.
And thriving.
Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you for that. Yes. Hi.
Hi. I got two questions. One of them is for my friend in Argentina and stuff, and she wanted to know if anything around in that corner would be dropping by.
I'd love to go to Argentina. I haven't been there ever. I mean, there it is. It looks like I'm leaving tonight.
What's your second question? Do you keep your stuff by any chance? Like props and wardrobe?
No, like personal stuff will give you.
Oh, I'm sure you have a collection.
I have things like the books and things that I take, you
Like
know,
the binder and the stuffed animals I gave you.
But it's tough to travel with everything, and anything like sort of like stuff that, you know, I haven't, you know, that I've been given, I usually will end up maybe with kids and other situations, but you know, but look, I mean, you guys are always out of your ways, beyond, like, you don't have to. You know, I mean, I always appreciate it so much, but it's like, you know, I do travel all the time, so.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And our last question over here. Hi.
Okay. My name is Natalie, and my question's from like the movie Endgame. You've always seen it, right? Y'all seen it?
You're good.
At the end of Endgame, Steve leaves with the Infinity Stones of Trinity. If it were the other way around, what would you want to tell Steve as a goodbye, and also where would you want to go?
If it was the other way around, and Steve wasn't going, but I was going?
Yeah.
Oh, tough to end on. Depressing.
Man, I mean,
kind of wasn't time for
In
goodbyes.
a weird way. Well, no, well, technically the goodbye was happening in a different scene you didn't see. Yeah, I don't know, that's a tough question. I mean, I think he would have wanted the same thing, you know, in a sense, which is what I felt from that scene, which was, hey man, you know, we had quite a road that we've been on, and now it's time that we sort of go and, you know, figure out who we are, what we want in life, and pursue that. And whether or not they can do that is another question, right? But like, that was the desire, and I think the desire probably would have been there for him too. I mean, both of those characters are in a place at the end of that movie of self-discovery now, of like, you know, they've both been servicemen for such a long time, you know, and I think it's the first time we're seeing them both start off at a starting point of like, okay, where am I at? What do I want? You know, and that's, I think, maybe what we're gonna see with the show.
That is such an awesome answer, and thank you for ending the question. Would you guys like to take a giant selfie with Sebastian? Okay, we're gonna turn around here and, yay! You can stand up if you want.